must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much. Welcome to our show, Diplomatic Elite. This morning, we shall cross over to entire Africa to look at the hotspots, the conflicts that have ravaged Africa, ravaged most of the places where peace would have made development possible. Without peace, you can't realize the dream of development. Peace and development go hand in hand. But it looks like silently, international agencies, international NGOs are silently funding rebellion on this continent. Behind all these opposition parties, the type of opposition that we had in 1960s, 1950s, when we are agitating for independence, is not the type of opposition we have today. Today we have a different type of opposition. An opposition that is hungry. An opposition that is angry. It is hungry and it is angry. Mark those two words. The panel which is coming in, take those two words very serious. It is an angry opposition and a very hungry opposition. 58 years of independence since Uganda got independence. Uganda will celebrate their independence on 9th of October, 1962. The independence in Uganda came when I was 7 years old. From 1955, 1962, therefore, the bonfire that witnessed the lowering of the flag, I was present. My father took me along that midnight. He took me to our sub-county, our county headquarters. I witnessed the warmth of the flag of my country coming down in my veins as my flag. Which is this flag here? Which is the flag goes up while the British flag goes down? I watched the display. I watched the display of all songs, the dancers, the drums. That is 58 years ago. This year, Kenya followed Uganda to get independence in 1963. If I'm not, am I right? Yes, 1963. I can't go wrong on that one. You got your independence. Ours was 1962. Kenya was 1963.
True.
You are 1 year behind us. We are a protectorate while you were a colony. The English words should not be confused like a Ruto's hustler and not hustler, but please, protection and colonization. A colony and a protection are two different words. Don't even misinterpret them and say, we don't care, we can be called hustlers. You can be called a hustler, go and buy women. Hustlers in English dictionary, which we study, is a man who buys women, or who sells women, or who sells himself. So I don't know how many younger men we are going to have selling themselves. But let's proceed on this channel, on this topic for today. The hungry opposition in Africa silently works with the ever-salvating NGOs that want to dismember Africa. I don't know whether we are together here. Hungry opposition in Africa works with salvating NGOs from the metros of Europe and America who want to dismember this country. The salvating NGOs work with angry people, angry politicians, angry, very angry. They don't work with a good politician. And I want you to look at all our opposition leaders on the continent of Africa. You will not find any of them who talks a very good language. Show me one. Show me one. Let's start from Malema. Does Malema talk good language?
No.
Let's go to Tanzania. The man who was shot, assassinated, attempted assassination, and came to Nairobi, Aga Khan for treatment. Lissu is his name, is called who? Lindu. Is it Lissu?
Tundu Lissu.
Lissu, yes. That is language. Look at the way he talks. Let's go to Uganda. I think by now Kenyans and others who condemn me have seen the difference between me and Bob Wine. The talking with Songa's brother, Bob Wine, and Stanga is quite different. The difference apart. The grasp of international issues, the grasp of national history, the grasp of national geography, the grasp of national efforts, the grasp of what election laws are, is what makes a good leader. But look at the opposition in Africa today, the hungry opposition. It means they have hunger in their stomachs. Then if you add the hunger with anger, A-H, what do you get? The letter V. Are we together with Songa today? You seem to be, your minds seem to be very far from. What are you worried about? I'm delivering a speech.
I'm following the conversation, Doc.
If you add A and H, you will get V. Let's complicate the matter further. By adding A and H, hunger and hungry, you receive violence. That is what is happening in Africa today. That is what is happening on our continent. I'm not speaking like a professor, Lumumba, who has rhetoric. I have a material of the basis. I speak from an experience of having seen 10 coups, 10 military coups in my country. The sponsorship of by international NGOs delivers Africa to an eating place. The eating place of Africa is delivered to what we call A plus H equals to V, which is delivered to C. If you deliver A plus H equals to violence, hunger plus angry, anger plus angry, anger plus angry is equals to violence. Bw'obeera n'enjala n'ogattako obuzungu, oleeta obulabe. Literally in Luganda, my mother language of Luganda, bw'obeera n'enjala n'obusungu oleeta obulabe. Those Baganda who are listening to me, Ugandans, if you have hunger plus anger, it is equals to violence. And when you subset anger plus hunger is equal to violence, subset equals to conflict. What does violence lead to? Violence leads to conflict. Who benefits from the conflicts of Africa? The person who benefits from the conflicts of Africa is George Soros. Does it pain you as a Kenyan that Hassan Omar, Mudhama, Boniface Halwale, Boniface Mwangi, Kicho Pevu Mohammed Nyali MP, Baraka Muluka, Ewaro? What is the signal you get out of the all these malcontents? What is the signal you get? My viewers, the signal you get is that they have got hunger. They have got hunger from Halwale to Hassan Omar to Baraka Muluka to Ewaro to Muhammad. What pains them in Kenya is hunger. Olubuto balina enjala mu lubuto, enjala ebaluma. Now when you are a hungry man and you add anger like a Mudhama, you add anger like a Halwale, can you play the clip of Halwale? What Halwale told? Because we want to be on facts. Production. Weka clip ya Halwale. Look for it.
Kumkumbusha kwamba if Edward Ouko is given a chance, atauliza deputy president kwamba pesa yenye wewe unalipwa mshahara haina uwezo ya kuwezesha wewe deputy president kujenga nyumba ya kifahari ya 1.2 billion. Huwezi. Mheshimiwa Ruto, Mheshimiwa Deputy President, mshahara wenye wewe unalipwa haiwezi kupatia nguvu ya kununua Dolphin Beach Hotel Mombasa yenye umenunua. Haiwezi we Deputy President. Hiyo pesa, and I'm talking to your own people. These are your own brothers and sisters. Hiyo pesa haiwezi kutosha mshahara yako ukanunua helicopters 4. Vijana wewe, awache uongo yake bwana. Awache matusi yake. Atuambie helicopter ya kwanza 250 million alitoa wapi? Helicopter ya pili 300 million Ruto ulitoa wapi? Helicopter ya tatu 350 million Deputy President ulitoa wapi?
You have listened to that tape. A few years ago, not only you, that you was watching me. I'm not talking any malice. If hunger does not lead you to danger, would you imagine that Mr. Khalwale today will stand on the same platform with Ruto, William Ruto, whom we are accused of having stolen money of Dolphin Hotel, whom we are accused of building a palace of palaces bigger than Emperor Nero's palace? Would you? No. But because of hunger, injara ya ila Khalwale, it took Khalwale to Ruto. And the Deputy President is not watching. Bring another one of Hassan Omar. I want to describe for you these guys today, to show you who is George Soros and how George Soros has inflicted the wounds in the Kenyan governance. Today I'm proving my case. There are people who have been telling me I am a useless man. But watch my lips. Watch my lips. If my fury does not turn out to be correct, I want the President Uhuru Kenyatta to say, I am sorry, I'll go home. If it is not George Soros funding the hustlers concept in Kenya, I will go home. You get my point?
Yes.
If you say it is not George Soros, what is Hassan Omar? Bring his picture with the hustler t-shirt. Hassan Omar was very quiet. Hassan Omar's NGO, whose Italian nurse was kidnapped. Wacha mambo iwake moto. Songa, I don't like that face. I don't know whether, look at this man here. Is it anger? This is a man who wrote, and wait please, hold on. Wetsonga, go on talking. Hold on.
Yes, and of course, when you look at these kind of individuals, someone like Boni Khalwale, Johnson Muthama, and at some extent Hassan Omar, these are people who have been telling Kenyans on how corrupt the Deputy President is, and at a particular point they saw never to be associated with such kind of such acts of impunity. But today, whatever you are seeing is that Johnson Muthama last Sunday in Kenol told us that the deputy president is the best man well fit to replace President Uhuru Kenyatta after he finishes his term. And also another thing that Kenyans should be able to look at critically and be able to join the dots going backwards is that the fact that these people who are with Musalia Mudavadi, the likes of Barack Muluka, Eliud Owalo, the moment they exited, they stopped working with Musalia Mudavadi. We noticed that the fuss that was around the Musalia Mudavadi Center evaporated into the abyss. And that tells you that perhaps there was some NGO money which was flowing in to fund the activities at Musalia Mudavadi Center. And this money was being channeled to the center through the likes of Eliud Owalo and Barack Muluka. And the moment they left and joined forces with the deputy president, that is when the activities at the Musalia Mudavadi Center ceased to happen. And that sends a very, very strong message in terms of who is funding these activities.
Ladies and gentlemen, viewers wherever you are in the world, you look at these two reports. I hope Ruto is watching. This is one report of Hassan Omar saying that Ruto banned the people in Kiambaa Church. Is here. The second report of, there are two. One did not indicate that Kiambaa Church and other things in this one. This one indicated, I hope His Excellency the President, Deputy President and the President watch the people they are dealing with. If this is not hunger and NGO money, tell me, they are here. I got them, both of them. I made an application in the ICC.
Yes, yes, and perhaps Hassan Omar should tell Kenyans, since when did the deputy president get acquitted of the same atrocities that he accused him some few years back, before he tells us how much he is supporting him for his 2022
We want to go slowly. We don't want to refuse people to join anybody. But we want credibility.
Yes.
Hassan Omar, the agency which lost a nurse to Al-Shabaab, can he come out clean when Italian government paid money? Is when Hassan Omar resurrected. That's Hassan Omar. He has known Hassan Omar. Hassan who? Omar.
Yes, and the other day, the former gubernatorial aspirant in Mombasa, Suleiman Shabal, challenged him to tell Kenyans where he has ever worked, where has he ever held an employment, and where does he get the money that he used to finance his activities. So that's also a very red flag about Hassan Omar.
I have no problem with His Excellency the President, the Deputy President. I am only angered by the very fact that he has forgotten the journey he went through. Forgiving is one thing, but forgetting to repeat. For the last 3 days, I've been listening to what Arab sang. And I've got my Kalenjin interpreters. What Arab sang is doing on Emo Radio. Authorities in Kenya, I am telling you to check Emo Radio. Check Emo Radio. Don't tell me I did not tell you. What Arab sang is saying there, between 6 o'clock to 12, is an incitement. I want to thank my legacy operatives in the Rift Valley, in Nakuru, and Eldoret, who are translating each and every word. Arap Sang has come back to Emo Radio saying the same things. Where we are, because of hunger, he has put anger, it will plus violence, deliver you to conflict. Who gains out of this? I'm about to give you space, Prof. But let me bring it down. I know you are going to bring it even damage more. Prof. Karanja, Daniel, George Soros in Zimbabwe, another hungry man, small. You know, apparently these people have no big stomach like mine. They have small stomachs like a Wesonga. If you look at Wesonga's stomach, it's equivalent to Bob Wine's stomach in Kampala. That is the truth. Yes. Mr. Chamisa in Africa is angry, and guess what? Who makes him angry? The salvating NGOs called Open Society Foundation for East and Central Africa pays his existence. If you look at the wrangles that are taking place in Zimbabwe MDC party, the wrangles spring as a result of hunger. Hunger. I don't know how Zimbabweans call it. What they call hunger. The pangs of hunger. Chamisa is very angry because the doctrine where you get the money says you must be angry, aggressive if you are going to change the public of Zimbabwe. Tell them that Mnangagwa is bad. Tell them that there are human rights abuses. Fake human rights abuses. That's the Africa we have. The point I'm making, finally, I'm coming to close. Back home, in my country, the opposition is very hungry. You get it very clear. Your brother, Bob Wine, is very hungry. And again, very angry. Which will deliver Uganda to violence and deliver Uganda to a conflict after the 2021 elections. Mark the words today. Uganda is 58 years old this week. But after 2021, there is no peace. After January 12, when elections will be conducted, there will be no peace. It's a scientific election that will never be accepted. We are doing a PR exercise. But with the changed climate that you see, even in the ruling party alone, where people draw out guns, is anger. Why should a minister in Uganda draw out a gun? To kill supporters because he has lost. Lost to go where? To go and fill the injera, the stomach. The stomach is empty. When the stomach is empty, you add anger, you deliver violence, which causes a conflict. I want to leave Professor Onyali to talk about the gentleman here in Kenya. This time, you do it. Because when I do it, they say it is me. Do it. There's a gentleman with anger here and a hunger. The gentleman who has grabbed everything. He's very angry. And he tells you, I'm watching. You will see. Have you seen the people who support Tanga Tanga group? Have you seen what they tell me? Have you seen, are these the people that you expect me to support? When they tell me that as soon as we get power like this, the day we get power like this, the day we get power like this, we shall deal with you.
Dr. Matsanga, funny enough, they have even threatened the sitting president himself and said that once they get power, he'll be able to know who they are. So these are people who cannot be helped by any stretch of imagination.
In Kenya, the Tanga Tanga group says once they get power, they want to work more with Hassan Omar, who wanted them jailed. But they wouldn't work with Matsanga, who helped them on Rule 68. They would be in jail. That authorities listen to Emo Radio every morning. That Kalenjin security officers listen to what Arab Sang is doing. To what he's doing every morning. Is exactly what he did in 2007. And he will go there and say, oh, semantics, I was talking this, I was talking this. Listen now, because it is happening. This morning he was with Sankok, the MP from Narok. An MP from Narok. Which place is that?
He's nominated MP.
Yes.
Nominated MP from Narok. You listen to what they talked today. That the security agencies don't say Matanga is telling a lie. Go and listen to what Sang and Sankok talk. And for the last 2 weeks, since the arrest of Oscar Sudi, what has Sang been saying? This time the authorities don't be asked very stupid questions. Like what the ICC was asking the Saitotis and other people, that what did you do? When these things were coming, what did you do? These things are coming, Jermaine. These things are here. There's a problem here. These guys have smelled NGO money silently. Lastly, before I hand over to my brother, Professor, Baraka Muruka has never worked anywhere successfully. He's a very intelligent man. He pretends to write books. But anywhere where, if Ruto wants to hear this. Anywhere where where Barack Obama, Baraka Muruka goes, anywhere where Harwale goes, any political outfit where the two people, where especially Baraka Muruka, will never win an election. You'll end up in violence. In 2013, when ODM lost to Jubilee, what did Ewalo do? Do you remember what he did? How many times was he arrested by security agencies? What was he recruiting? Wakenya mniambie. You are Kenyans, two of you. Don't look down. What was he doing?
Yes, he was recruiting young people in a bid to overthrow the government in some kind of change tactics.
So, do you think Ruto has plan B?
Absolutely, Dr. Masanga. And this, I remember at the onset of this discussion, you had a very, very clear warning sent out to our security forces to see the kind of activities the allies of the deputy president are doing in Mount Elgon and other parts of the region, and to see the kind of language they are using, perhaps maybe insinuating that they are ready for plan B in case things don't go their way in 2022. And I think it's a very, very genuine concern that should be taken seriously by the security agencies of this country.
In my submission, therefore, as I hand the microphone for Professor Onyali to discuss, I want some clips to be played. Then, Professor, you can come in nicely to damage that one pole standing. Let's play the clips of George Soros' activities in Africa. Production. All of us agree, from Professor Onyali, Madame Miriam Ogutu, Daniel Songa, and Karen Joseph, that the only way Malawi can come out of the politics it has been through is unity. Unity of purpose. The new president should unite all Malawians, bring them on board, forget the past, do accountability, which is very, very important, which brings in the points that we have captured here, where Miriam, as a presenter, said accountability, the former chairperson should be accountable for some of the crimes that were committed under her watch. It is therefore very important, as we summarize this show, to urge, to encourage President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, that you have been in Kenya for some time. You know how Kenyans went through some of these difficulties. Embrace the role of a united Malawi. Forgive, shake hands with your opponent, the one you defeated with 3.2 million votes. Let him feel that all the people of Malawi are on board. Take accountability at the root. Don't take retributive justice. Take justice, restorative root of justice that can bring Malawi back to the days of Dr. Hastings, Dr. Kamuzu Banda, when Malawi income in Blantyre was the heaven of African people for honeymoon. I just want to ask you, on behalf of this show, on behalf of Punchline, to take one step forward to reconcile with your former president. Don't take immunity, don't be harsh, don't create gaps of insecurity before you take off. Let the car have engine oil, be hot before you become the driver. Thank you very much. God bless you. That's my takeaway. Thank you very much, viewers. That is a classic example in Africa, where regimes silently have actually funded, equipped, supplied a regime change that could cause a conflict. Is it therefore, in my submission, yes, that NGOs, external forces, are funding silently the opposition in Africa? Over to you, Professor.
Thank you, Dr. Masanga. Daniel, our viewers from wherever they are, as we discuss this important topic for the continent of Africa. The question before us is the West funding the silent rebellion in Africa. If we go by what you have read the basis and the background, the answer, Dr. Masanga, is yes. These are the people, Dr. Masanga, in the Barini Club in 1884. They decided, Dr. Masanga, to partition the continent of Africa. They took all our resources. They used us as cheap labor. They enjoyed, and they had no iota of imagination in their mind that Dr. Masanga, that they will get out of the continent of Africa. Dr. Masanga, when there was agitation for independence for African countries in the 50s and 60s, as we speak today, Dr. Masanga, they are out of the continent of Africa and all the African states, except Western Sahara, which is still colonized by Morocco, by help of France. We achieved our objective of having African states being independent. But they were reluctant, Dr. Masanga. They were not very happy. So they know very well, Dr. Masanga, there is prime opportunities in the continent of Africa. There is no doubt, Dr. Masanga, there is a scramble of Africa at this point in time. China is coming to Africa, America is coming to Africa, the West is coming to Africa. And they know, as I do, that a peaceful Africa they will never penetrate. What do, Dr. Masanga? They find the hungry people, and the hungry as they are. They have gotten a gap. And Dr. Masanga, this is what you are seeing in the continent of Africa. Dr. Masanga, look at the Democratic Republic of Congo. Since the killing of Patrick Lumumba in 1961, Dr. Masanga, that part of the country has never enjoyed peace up to now. Dr. Masanga, who is taking the minerals, gold, diamonds, the timbers, hardwood from Democratic Republic of Congo. Is it Africa? Is it Asia? Is it not the West, Dr. Masanga? Don't we have the United Nations security? Don't we have United Nations troops in Democratic Republic of Congo? Yes, we do. What they do? They rape our sisters, our daughters, our women. Is there any action being taken to them? No. So the West knows, Dr. Masanga, a peaceful Africa they will never penetrate. So they have to cause rebellion by the angry people, by the people of the Aswan nation. That's how they penetrate. Dr. Masanga, haven't you argued very correctly? The priests of the human rights of yesterday condemning others, today they are together. Who preached to them? The rights of Omar, the rights of Chicho Bef. What were they saying about the deputy prime minister, the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto? Did they not want him to be hammered, life sentence in egg? Thank God for the good work you did and we did. And they were able to go through that case, but the case is still alive. So, Dr. Masanga, what we are trying to see, the people who were not working yesterday, they are working today. And who is doing this? It is George Soros. And I know that I don't want to use very bad words. You know, there are some people, Dr. Masanga, who are the brothers and the sisters of the devil. They don't want peace and harmony. They want to see the spirit of blood. Dr. Masanga. On Sunday, what did you see in Muranga? Didn't we see 2 innocent young people dying? A 15-year-old boy and 21. Dr. Masanga, are you not seeing the same person yesterday? He was crying on the man is from Naroko to his home in Karen. And imagine Dr. Masanga, the people whom he is addressing in this, the midst of the pandemic, Dr. Masanga, they don't wear the mask. They don't follow even the minimum protocols of the Minister of Health and World Health Organization. Dr. Masanga, the West will do all it can to destabilize our country. We have come from discussing the Big Four agenda for President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who is supposed to be assisted by his deputy president, Dr. Masanga, who is opposing. Why don't you want housing, affordable housing for Kenyans? Why don't you want affordable universal health care for Kenyans? Why don't you want manufacturing whereby we can have industries to employ young people? Why do you want to give the young people Mugongoten and the wheelbarrows? Why do you want to call the sons and daughters of people hustlers, who in its true meaning is thief, fraudster, conman? Why do you want to alienate them the opportunities of rising to be what you are? Dr. Masanga, I've not seen this guy selling chicken. He's masquerading. And he's bringing the class war in this country. The rich versus the poor. What does that one will mean? It will mean unstable Kenya. What does unstable Kenya mean? The West find an avenue to penetrate to come to Kenya. Remember what the West is so much interested in. They want oil. They want gas. They want the precious minerals from Africa. Is it true that Kenya we are discovering gas? Yes. Is it true that Kenya we are discovering oil? Yes. So the West, what you are trying to see in Kenya as a silent rebellion, yes, it is a rebellion, Dr. Masanga. And in fact, let me just have this to say, Dr. Masanga. I don't know why the president and the government is not taking action. Harrier campaigns should stop forthwith. We don't have any election at sight. We have a pandemic to deal with. Our schools have been closed. Parents are suffering. Why don't you even get that money and give parents to pay school fees for their children and prepare for the opening of schools? From where I sit, Dr. Masanga, I don't need another case study which I can easily use apart from the one of my country. Where someone is running over their country, Dr. Masanga, can you maintain a campaign which is away 22 months? Dr. Masanga, where are you getting this money? What kind of business do you have so that you can have money to this? What are you telling people, Dr. Masanga, the young people, that you don't work, there's free money? What kind of nation is that? A nation of beggars, a nation where people will want to handouts is what the West comes. Giving people handouts is never sustainable, Dr. Masanga. Unstable Kenya, unstable Africa is good for the West. I submit, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much, Professor, for all those kind words and very good engagement, agreeing with most of the things that I've delivered. He has no other example apart from home here. You have said it all. Home here. Where is the money coming from? Where is the money coming from? Okay, imagine about 4 million youths of Kenya. All of them decided to go to the house where they are asking for wheelbarrows. What will happen? What will happen? Masanga.
Yes, Dr. Matsanga, I've listened to whatever Professor said, and I agree with him 100%. Because when you look at the chronology of events, not here only in Kenya, let's look at Uganda. Bobi Wine, when he started coming up as the key opposition figure in Uganda, slowly replacing the influence that Kizza Besigye had over the opposition supporters. He was he had a trip to the US to meet some of the people who are very critical when it comes to matters African politics. And therefore, we have to ask, when Bobi Wine was in the US, who are these people that he was meeting? And what was their agenda on the politics and the democracy of Uganda? That is the key questions, pertinent questions that we should ask ourselves. And thereafter, once he came to Uganda, we've been seeing him doing very massive rallies, rolling out some few projects here and there. You have to ask yourself, as a musician, an African musician, where does he get this amount of money to bankroll his activity, his party activities? The other day, Dr. Matsanga told us that he was in a row where it was alleged that he bought a party for 500 million shillings.
5 million.
So where yes, $5 million shillings. So where does he get this amount of money to pay for a political party? When you look at his musical career, this amount of money that will take someone, it's a no mean feat by any kind of imagination that a musician he can be able to raise this amount of money. We know politicians get into politics, but no politician of high intuition will get into these into politics using his own savings or maybe money which is from the business or family money. So we have to ask, where does this money come from? Look at Chamisa, a man with no known enterprise in Zimbabwe, has been having all those campaign rallies or have been addressing various projects in Zimbabwe, opposition projects in Zimbabwe. Where does he get the money to do all that kind of activities? Here in Kenya, we understand that before the handshake happened in March 2018, the opposition was the agent of Soros, and after the handshake happened, there was a vacuum. As Dr. Matsanga said, that nature abhors vacuum. And therefore, these agents of regime change had to find someone who will be able to propagate and carry forward their agenda and the interest of regime change here in the country. And where did they find this particular person to spearhead their agenda? They found it in the deputy president's allies. And yesterday, I watched Kimani Ichung'wah speaking about whatever happened in Murang'a, and whatever case that Alice Wahome and Ndindi Nyoro had with the police. And at the end of his statement, he called on the international community and international allies to look on whatever is happening in Kenya. Who are these allies that Kimani Ichung'wah was invoking for the help and assistance when them themselves are the master of impunity and really disregarding the law. So there is where Kenyans should really focus. And also I talked about the Musalia Mudavadi Center, which was, we were being shown a flurry of activities, a lot of people, especially from the deputy president side, thronging the center and having some moments, photo shoots there. And immediately, Owalo and Barack Muluka, they come to the deputy president's camp. We saw this flurry of activities slowly dying, and eventually right now, when you look at it, even the language of Musalia Mudavadi, which was really cascading towards the deputy president, has ceased to be. So it tells you that within Musalia Mudavadi's camp, we had people from George Soros, people who are agents of the regime change, who are slowly but surely working towards bringing an alliance of Musalia Mudavadi and William Ruto to go and run for 2022 presidential election. And since their plans did not work out, they ran back and formed an alliance with the with the deputy president, where we still have. Yes.
Can I give you some evidence?
Yes, Dr. Masanga, you can come on board.
This is a ploy. This is a ploy. I want you to count how many times this year
yes,
I've talked about Mudavadi having gone to America to receive money. How many times? All of you tell me.
Several times.
Several times I've told the people here in Kenya, don't take me serious. Because everybody here, all these officials, everybody thinks they know. They don't know. Mudavadi, before the corona came last year, Mudavadi spent almost 2 months in the US. The quarrel in Mudavadi's party is money from the same source. But the same source that gives up opposition money in Kenya has shifted the money to Ruto's office. Full stop.
yes,
And it is you notice that all ANC, Mudavadi went to America. This is Open Society Foundation guys. Have you seen them? Have you? No. Return that. Have you seen? It is, I told you, and I kept on saying this, that very soon money will break them. Now, it is a technique. You see, Mudavadi does not want to go and be the deputy of Ruto. Does it therefore worry you as a Kenyan? Does it? That the entire executive of Mudavadi's ANC
yes,
has shifted to Ruto.
yes,
You know why? They are just preparing a journey for Mudavadi to come. What Mudavadi is fearing now is the backlash.
yes,
I teach political science and take my words very seriously. You praise Mutahi Ngunyu. Mutahi Ngunyu cannot teach students like me. I will walk out of his class because I know more than he knows. But I'm telling you, this mass going to Ruto is a very well calculated plan with the concept of hustlers. So finally, when it comes to shove taking, what is it called, Besonga?
When push comes to shove.
When the push comes to shove, and the presidential candidates of this other wing eliminate Mudavadi, Mudavadi will be the deputy running mate of Ruto. Will join there. You can see from Malala. Malala does not want to see Raila Odinga at all. Malala now is remained with Mudavadi. He's come back to Mudavadi. But Malala also serves the same purpose. He is with Murkomen all the time against the state, that the state is hunting him down. What Mudavadi is fearing is to add a crossing. Because people will say, And you will see that politics play towards 2021 in December there. Mudavadi, December, January, Mudavadi, after seeing the realignment, Raila coming up with his group fully, and that says he's a candidate, Mudavadi will break away and go to Ruto.
Yes. Yes, I think Dr. Matsanga, you put a perspective on it, and that is what most Kenyans should brace for. And you know, at some extent, a friend of mine asked me how Cleophas Malala could be so close to Musalia Mudavadi, but his actions, when you see his line of attack, when he's attacking a government agenda, he speaks the same language as Murkomen. I have a friend who is a member of County Assembly in Trans Nzoia, and last evening, he has been very, very close to Musalia Mudavadi. But last evening, I saw him together with Boni Halwale and Barack Muluka meeting the deputy president with the ANC National Executive Committee. So I think whatever you are saying is what is going to happen. And any serious student of political science, I think they have the ball on their court to make a clear meaning out of what you've given there, Dr. Matsanga.
What I've said, and I continue to say today, Karanja, Mr. Karanja.
Yes, I'm here.
You have been listening.
Yeah, I'm listening, Professor Ndaletonga, and your submission.
I want again to say, as I bring you in,
yes,
just make a few point 1, 2, 3. You have listened to all of us. Summarize for us.
And let me say this: I agree with whatever is happening in this country comes to this particular agenda. This is something that is funded from outside, you can see. And let me ask you a question. Before the handshake, this nationalism agenda was dead, was not even existing, was just a shell of what it is. This is when this started getting momentum, slowly, and by 2019, hustlers were already doing well everything. And this is where we started seeing people shifting and taking sides. We saw Boni Halwale. And Boni Halwale, I think, is a man for political goals, and I think he got a chance to get some money, and that is why he joined the deputy president camp. Came to Hassan Omar. He's a man who has been a criticizer of the deputy president. He was one man who was hitting the head on when it comes to matter deputy president and corruption allegations. And now he's joining the camp, and he's a man who has also been a political goal. Therefore, these people are coming there for the sake of money and for the sake of rising the nation, so that they get a position through the back door. And I think that is the agenda they are all trying to come up with. And I saw recently, Barack Muluka, and I think last year, he was made the Secretary General of ANC. And before even the water cooled, now he has joined the Tangatanga League. I saw him with the deputy president yesterday, and with other guys from have no career that they do apart from these societies that they deal with, calling them the civil societies and the human rights activists. They do nothing. Bala Muluka is somebody who has been calling himself a political analyst, and reading some columnar books that he talks about entertainment there. These are people who have a track record of mischievous years, and when they join that camp, these are clear indication that Hazararism agenda and Hazararism nation movement. These are people who are determined to ensure that these people like this nation, so that they can continue exploiting Kenyans even more through the back door or getting power through means that are not through a kind of back door that is not necessary, because when they create that kind of an environment of chaos and violence and institution, you know, the best thing they can be done is to be called on the table, and when they be called on the table to discuss and dialogue, they will bring their issues and they come up with a kind of a MOU, and some of them will give a position. This is the kind of thing they are preparing, so that if they lose in 2022, they will have a bargaining power, because they have corrupted a number of people. So they have a boss that will be able to bargain, so that they come to power to right things, and that is how what exactly they are doing. And if you look at all of those characters, Mohammed Ali was somebody who was a champion of good governance, but today, you know, we had a program called the best, but now that Tito is no longer seen clearly. Now it's Tito Hope, because he is doing the bad work of a visa corrupt bill. Therefore, all these things, I can say and I clearly see and see that these people are funded. That is why, and I even somebody who is a member of an MCA from Jerry, and I said that I know most of you know him, and when they go to the deputy president camp, they don't come out with less than 50,000. And this is true. Therefore, these people, they are getting this money so that they can have energy to continue corrupting people in this other agenda. The cost of this money is questionable, because when you give 20 members of parliament, 20 MPs or people 50,000 each, then you can see the amount of money that these people have. And this amount of money cannot be gotten from a legal business or something that is working through honest means. This must be gotten honest means and some kind of donations from outside the country. And that's something that is very uncalled for, and that is the plan. But there is a number, because when the state is right against it, then we have nothing, we have where to plan in. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All of you. We have done very well. We have exposed, we have brought information to the fore. We have delivered our testimony. We have shown examples of how silently the Western NGOs, if you look at the pattern that is taking place in Kenya from Ekure Accord, Punguza Mzigo, from Moses Kuria, Ichungwa, Murkomen, all these characters that are running around with the Hustler movement, it is George Soros.
And
that's
now,
all
David,
I can. Those security agencies who want to listen can listen. Those who want to dismiss me at your own peril or peril, sorry. I've done my best. I am saying what I know. This won't be long before people are just waiting for the time of nomination. That Musalia Mudavadi will say, I wanted to be a leader. Nothing has come out. I wanted unity. Nothing has come out. Raila is at it again. Raila has chosen maybe Kalonzo, or Raila has chosen maybe another candidate as a running mate. Musalia Mudavadi will end up running with William Ruto.
And Dr. Matsanga, maybe just to add on that, earlier this week, Musalia Mudavadi met the MP for Matungu, Honorable Murunga, who is an ANC member of parliament. And immediately after he met him, Murunga announced that he was going to host the deputy president over the weekend. So does it tell you that perhaps meeting with Murunga, they had some discussion regarding to the imminent visit of the deputy president? I think that also adds some weight to what you are saying about the deputy president working with Musalia Mudavadi. It's something that is being hidden from the limelight, but ultimately it's going to happen.
There's one common denominator, and that common denominator is called George Soros Open Society Foundation. Thank you very much. Thank you, studio. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much. Wherever you are in the world, thank you, Karanja from Nanyuki. We have done our best from morning. It has been an excellent journey that we have walked together. I want to thank all of you for walking with me on this journey. We can do it. Nothing will stop us. This station, therefore, is for Africa, with Africa, by Africa.
Thank you.
Today in Africa, we see a lot of uprisings, planning for uprisings, plotting for uprisings in several African countries. The events on the African continent, therefore, as predicted much earlier myself, in 2017, I said, before 2020, 13 African countries would have undergone either soft regime change, soft coups, or violent regime change through uprising, which now seem to be real. The signs that and the symbols that we see are the real symbols and the signs that more is to come against African governments. What do we do then? There is a new method of changing governments strategically placed in the United States of America by George Soros. George Soros funds civil societies, civil disobedience, civil violence in Africa. It is upon you, Africans and African heads of state, wherever you are, as you convene, as you plan to convene next month or before the end of this month in Addis Ababa, to understand the magnitude of this regime change strategy. Many wars are taking place, internal strife, conflicts like the one in Cameroon, Amazonia, like the one in Biafra, Boko Haram, and then in Biafra, like the one in Libya. But the theme is the same. Regime change, uprising. Is it a matter of taking over our resources? You see, the war in Congo has erupted again. Unknown militias have arrived in Congo, restarted the war, and it is going on. All these culminate to one thing. Are we ready to be independent? As I said last week, this week, are people in Africa ready to accept the results of elections? Elections everywhere in Africa are bringing the chaos we see. The people of Africa seem to be divided after elections or before elections. Is Africa ready for elections? Do we need elections in Africa? If so, are we tolerant enough to accept results? Are we ready? Which method can we use in Africa to make sure that there is hope for the countries and there is hope and the future of Africa is guaranteed? Viewers, the High Court in Malawi today or yesterday was hearing a case when the president had already been sworn in. If the president of Malawi has been sworn in, then the High Court is hearing the case. Is that not a disaster, an accident in waiting? Whether this will make us have a peaceful Africa remains to be seen. And may God help us to build a better Africa. Thank you very much.
With great pleasure that despite this pandemic that has created a very difficult situation for all of us globally, we have come to an understanding that even as we protect ourselves, even as we protect our health, we have to also understand that the world doesn't stop. The game must continue, the show must continue, and we must continue to see how do we get out of this together. And I want to congratulate you, Mr. President, for the understanding that no single country can deal with this alone. This is a global fight. This is a global war, and we can only win together. No single country can win this battle alone. We're here to tell you of the opportunities that exist in Kenya, the opportunities that exist within our young people, and how by closely collaborating, we can actually lift ourselves as a continent and as a country out of poverty, but at the same time create opportunities for young people, create opportunities for entrepreneurs to be able to tap into this wealth and mighty potential that the African continent has, which is our young people. I tell people all the time, we look at the African continent sometimes from a perspective of its natural wealth, the gold, the diamonds, the oil, the gas. But what we tend not to see is what is the true African potential. And the true African potential is our young men and women and the capacity they have to participate with you to build a greater and better world for all of us. It's been a great pleasure working with Emmanuel over the last few years. I believe he's a man who is understanding that the future of France on the African continent does not necessarily reside in its history, but in the potential that Africa has for mutual prosperity as we work together to build our respective economies, grow prosperity. We know we have huge problems, for example, with regard to migration that make people have this feeling or this understanding that all that Africa can contribute is migrants. But you must ask yourself, why do these young men and women risk their lives to cross thousands of miles of land, risk their lives to cross the waters of the Mediterranean? It is in search of opportunity. It is in search of opportunity. But imagine the power of us working together, of tapping that opportunity while it is still in Africa. A chance, therefore, of creating a prosperous proposition for all of us, while at the same time ensuring the safety, the security, and the peace of our two continents. This is why I'm here, and I'm looking forward to having fruitful engagement with each and every one of you as we tell you of the opportunities that exist in Kenya, that exist in Africa, and the potential of us working together into the future. I thank you very much, Emmanuel. Thank you. Technology is an area where I think you can tap into great potential when we do business processes outsourcing, where there exists potential, because the one thing that one must recognize is that we were late in joining the technology advancement. So we don't have the baggage or the backlog of having old infrastructure. We were able to leapfrog and to jump a stage and reach into newer technologies. And that is why, for example, mobile penetration in Kenya, for example, is now almost 98%. The majority of our population, for example, was unbanked. And it therefore made innovation that much more attractive. Mobile money all of a sudden became the most important way for our people to access financial services. And today, as a result of technology, Kenya has moved from a position less than 10 years ago where only 30% of our population was banked to now almost 90% of our population that is banked through mobile money. And through there, the introduction of different services, from insurance services to different apps that provide various governmental services. For example, we use mobile technology to offer more than 200 different services to our people in a much more affordable manner, in a much more reachable manner. So technology and the development of applications is an area of huge potential. Second, we're also talking about an infrastructure gap. Huge potential existing on the continent in terms of connectivity, road, rail, infrastructure. Just yesterday, myself and President Macron witnessed the signing of a contract with one of your big companies here who are investing 1.3 billion euro into road projects. A road project, and the first and the largest road project done by private sector. Usually we're here banging on Emmanuel's door seeking financial assistance. But it was wonderful yesterday to see the private sector step up and have the confidence to invest in Kenya, to invest in infrastructure, with the realization that the returns are going to be good, with the understanding that with the stability that we have in our country, their investments are safe. So once again, we encourage you to look at this infrastructure shortfall and see that not as a negative aspect, but a huge opportunity for French investors as well. The financial sector, like I'm saying, through mobile money is another sector. The service sector that is rapidly growing is also another sector. And as Africa starts to go under the Africa Free Trade Arrangement, there also exist huge opportunities in manufacturing. You're talking about a population on the African continent in excess of 1 billion people who need everything from toothbrush to toothpaste to shoes to socks. This is another huge opportunity that exists there, and using our ability now as an African continent to come together, there is a huge opportunity in manufacturing for European and especially French companies in this particular instance. So these are just but a few areas that I think, with greater cooperation, with greater trust, and with greater understanding of each other, could be opened to French entrepreneurs.
You run a wonderful country. I was the first French president to visit it, which is crazy, but this is it. And you run it marvelously. You have to deal with COVID-19, with a lot of issues, but you decided to come to France for this event. I want to tell you. Because I propose to Mr. President to come and see French entrepreneurs, SMEs, mid and large caps, and to have an open discussion. Because I do believe it's extremely important, both for France and Kenya, to have a better knowledge of each other and to see all the opportunities you can find in this country, but as well how our French companies can bring something to your country. Provide our solutions, our innovations, our entrepreneurship, and be part of your success.
Conflicts in Africa have become the daily occurrence. Daily occurrences in many countries, in the sense that almost every African country, apart from the few, there is tension. One wonders where this tension at times comes from. Some of it comes from elections, a manufactured election, a disputed election results. Some come from territory. Some are terrorist-based, like that of Somalia and Boko Haram. Some are because of regime change, purely sponsored by external forces. But 95 to 96% of conflicts in Africa occur through the sponsorship of external darker forces that would like to benefit out of the spoils of war. George Soros stands as one person who has always been and will always be and shall be until the end a man who sponsors any type of chaos, who does not follow which type of chaos he is sponsoring, as long as it is chaos that can topple a person he hates in Africa. Many African countries are undergoing this pressure, this tension, especially those that are conducting elections and whose timetable for elections seem to be coming in the near future. As a result of that, Africa stands warned, and Africa must stand on alert about the external forces that want to dismember this continent and create heavens of war, create insecurity, create mirage peace that Africans have fought after 66 years of gaining political independence. It is therefore my submission that most African countries, if they don't look at what George Soros is doing, we might have a shocker one morning, one by one African country being pushed out and the leaders being pushed out of power. The events, therefore, in South Africa, as proved from these detailed undercover operations, they prove that George Soros indeed has a say in South African politics. And therefore, we want to urge Africans and African heads of state and their military and intelligence systems to be careful and watch on the amount of money that is being pumped into their economies, because some of the money could be George Soros' money that will end up to bring public disorder in most of the African countries. Thank you very much, viewers.